Hey there, Woolley Geeks. I have an awesome jam-packed episode 5 for you tonight. This is Holly, also known as Silver Moon Witch on Plurk and the Woolley Geek at Blogspot. Uh, actually, Woolley Geek is the blog. My Blogspot's under Holly Sullivan. So, anyway, it is Thursday night at 8:38 p.m. Hold on now. 27th, December 27th. Man, I had to think about that. Um, actually double check that. Yes, it's 8:38 on Thursday, December 27th. Why did I just pick this up in the first place? I have no idea. Anyhow, again, we have a jam-packed episode tonight since last week's episode was a little short. Granted, it was like 6:30 in the morning and my daughter had just gotten up. Um, but I have been on vacation from work all week since last Friday technically. So, and I don't go back to work until Wednesday after the New Year. So I'm really excited to be on vacation right now, let me tell you. And so, I hope everyone had a wonderful Hanukkah and Christmas. I understand Kwanzaa is still going on until the New Year. Um, and I had a beautiful Yule and a fabulous Christmas, by the way. So yeah, it was great. The weather was warm but rainy. It was weird. Georgia weather, it'll bounce from really cold to really warm to really cold again. So yeah, they wonder why the flu goes around Georgia. Hello, regulate the temperatures a little bit where people can adjust and we might not get the flu so easy. Geez, I can't wait to move to a state where there's 4 seasons again. Anyhow, I am working on a bunch of small projects right now. So some of my larger projects are hibernating. My crosswords at the coffee shop is in hibernation temporarily. I do tend to finish that uh, by January's end, definitely. Hopefully, actually, I should be finishing that maybe in the next few weeks. Who knows? By episode 10, perhaps. This is episode 5. By episode 10 of the Woolley Geek, I should have that finished and ready to show. We'll see. So I've got that aside. I've been working on, I've had like small project itis lately. I've been wanting to do smaller projects I can carry with me. So it's been all about socks. Because my cardigan sweater is also in hibernation, although I want to do 3 sweaters this year. So that, excuse me, I want to have that sweater finished by Valentine's Day for myself. It is a heavier weight, bulky weight cardigan. But generally, February, Valentine's Day in Georgia is still pretty cold. We start getting warm temperatures again in early March, like late February, early March. I hear offending claws over there, kitty. You better not be. Sorry. One of the cats tends to claw the carpet a little bit, and I have to tell her to quit clawing the carpet. Anyhow, um, back to what I was saying. Anyway, I hope to have that cardigan finished by February. I should maybe be able to get a couple weeks wear out of it by then. And then hopefully if next year all goes well, that sweater won't fit me anymore. We'll see. It's actually a really easy, very forgiving buttonless cardigan. Um, and it's one that I think I could easily adjust a little bit as I lose weight. So yeah, we're working on that. So yeah, I think it's one that even a little smaller, where it had a little bit more ease to it, it could still look good. So that's why I like that pattern a lot. And I don't remember what the pattern is off the top of my head. It is a pattern in a magazine that I got back over the fall. And the magazine is currently in my car. You know, me, car knitting, yeah. So even though the sweater is in here, the magazine's in my car. So I can't really show it right now because that would involve me leaving and coming back, and that's not cool. So I'm not going to do it right now. I will hopefully show that magazine next week. Aria, really, please. Carpet cat, I swear. Anyway, now that Velcro Kitty's been taken care of, here, let's go to one of finished objects. Finished object, I call this a finished object because technically it's a half-finished project, but part of the project is finished. It needs to be blocked, and it needs to have the end woven in. I take a cue from Lala from the Knit Girls, who doesn't like to weave in her ends until she goes to block a piece. And the reason that she does this is, and I think it's a really good reason, um, when you've got something blocking or ready to go on blocking, you may find that maybe the bind off needs to be redone or something. It gives you a little bit of playroom. So I leave the bind off done until the item is blocked. And excuse my terrible manicure. I need to do my nails. I haven't done it before the podcast. I did my makeup. That's all I did. But it's just a really good idea to have that little bit of playroom in case you need to adjust the pattern or something while, when it's done blocking. And you can always weave in the end at the, after it's all dry blocked. So this is Euclid's Love. I did link that pattern in the show notes. It is a free Ravelry pattern. She did it for her local LYS, which is Hank of Yarn in her area. Sorry, I just got a text. Actually, my husband got a text, but I texted a friend of his. Um, okay. Um, Sorry about that. But I did screw up because I noticed on the pattern when you're working down in here, it tells you to work the pattern going from right to left. You know how you would normally work a pattern on the right side before you turn and you start working it going this way, going that way, going this way. I don't know, the camera mirrors, so I'm moving it in the right way to me. It could be the opposite way to you. And then you work, of course, the standard stitch on the foot of the sock. This is the bottom of the foot of the sock. Well, I was working the pattern as normal. And so my pattern is off, like weird. It looks weird, but it also looks good. So I kept it and I kept on going because I didn't realize this till I was almost at the heel. And I'm like, I'm not ripping this whole thing out. And I do want to make the project again and make it correctly. And I do have some yarn in mind for it. But for this, I actually really like it, especially the way the colors are moving and stuff in this yarn. I really like it. And this is, and yet, some people actually asked me when I posted some pictures of this sock done about a week or so ago when I finished it, is that a Fleegle heel? Yes, it is. It's as the pattern's written, and I needed some visual help, and I did not realize this was a Fleegle style heel, and I needed some visual help, so I went online and Googled how to do a toe up heel or a heel from working a sock from the toe up. This is a pattern that goes from the toe up, which I love. And the YouTube that I found, and I did link that in the show notes, I think, if I didn't, I'll have to go back and do it. But that was Fleegle. And so I realized that this is in fact a Fleegle heel. So, yep. And I really liked it. It was super easy to do. And I believe on the pattern that I'm working now is also a Fleegle heel. So that makes me happy since I've done one already. Going to do another one on the other sock. Yeah. So this is worked on Apothecary Yarns in the Candy Apples colorway. And it's worked on the size 1 Knitter's Pride Dreams circular needles. I'm doing it magic loop style. These are the really, really super lightweight bamboo wooden needle. I think they're bamboo. I don't know. They're a dark stain though. They're not like the light bamboo. These are very, very delicate and lightweight. I'm very careful with these. But I do love them. They're really nice. And I've gotten about this much done on sock number 2. And there's the bottom of the foot and the top. So, and these have been, I haven't actually touched these in a couple days. I dropped my project bag. I have these, and I have about that much of the ball left. So plenty of yarn to work the next sock. And I didn't give these a really tall cuff because generally I don't like a tall cuff, although I like this length cuff, but I think on the Bridget socks, which I'll show you in a second, I might make a little bit taller cuff just because variety is good. It's the spice of life. I have these in my, turn it around correctly, my lovely and very happy, funny Loopy You project bag. Just a great little project bag. I love this project bag. I get so many comments on it when I go out somewhere and I'm knitting. People see the sheep wearing the socks, and he's so cute. And somebody actually asked me if this was Shaun the sheep from Ravelry. I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. But he's wicked cute. I love it. It's one of my favorite project bags. My next my next FO that I should show you real quick is, let me get to it. I did finish spinning the not yeah, you can kind of see the colors better because I got my lighting is much better this time for some freak of nature, I guess. But this is the Winter Gradient from Fiber and Dye Works, and it's 100% BFL. And I spun it bulky, and I got about 50 yards out of it. I want to say maybe it's 52 yards, 53 yards. Got about 50 some yards out of it, and it has been thwacked and washed and set. Let me come in close so you can see it really good there. And barber pulled in some areas. And I just normal two-plied it. Don't really know what that's called, but just normal two-plied it. I really love it. I love how it turned out. Check this out. It turned out really balanced. I mean, it was hanging like this. Well, not crinkly. It's been hanged up, but it was hanging pretty good before I washed it and thwacked it. And that makes me happy that I got such a balanced yarn out of it. It is the most balanced yarn that I have ever made. So I'm very, very proud of it. I can't wait to use it in a project. Okay, really? It's not behaving. I can't wait to use this in a project. Um, it made me so happy to spin. And I got to spin a new yarn, and that makes me happy too. I like to try out new fibers, new things. Again, variety. I am definitely doing, I don't know if anybody watches the Knit Girls, and that is the Knit Girls can be found, it's You Don't Call Me Less, all one word, on Plurk, is Leslie. And Lala Knits, I want to say, is her Plurk name. And that's for Laura Linneman, who's Lala on the Knit Girls. And the Knit Girls is KNITGIRLLS. The three L's being Lala, Leslie, and Lemon. I believe Lemon Half is the other L. So yeah, the Knit Girls, and it's a great, great fun podcast to watch. I watch the Knit Girls a lot. Let's talk podcasts for a second. I love Knit Girls. Um, I watch them a lot. By the way, I also watch The Fat Squirrel by Amy Beth Mays, who's awesome. She's also the Fat Squirrel on uh, Plurk and Ravelry. Almost called her Flat Squirrel. That would be terrible. Sorry, Amy Beth. I watch her a lot. She's hilariously funny. She also has a 5-year-old daughter like I do, so I love her show. I love hearing about her daughter. She is insanely quirky and funny and just amazing to watch. She's got such wonderful energy. And I love the Knit Girls because it's Lala and Leslie together. And I love their banter back and forth and things like that. I really just love that show too. It's really interesting to watch the two of them together. Especially when one of the pets that Leslie has, or sometimes Humberto will come in the picture for Lala, her cat. But Leslie has a gorgeous cat as well, and she has this beautiful brindle dog named Neelix, who is, I'm not sure what kind of dog he is. He's a brindle coloring, the stripy coloring. He's gorgeous. He's so funny too. I just giggle every time he decides to make an entrance on the podcast. He's just so attention needy like my dog is. So I know what she's going through and I giggle every time I see him come in and demand attention inside of a podcast. I also like to watch Knittables, Diane from Knittables. She's a lot of fun too. And A Cat in Her Yarn, who hasn't podcasted in a while, but I think she's going to be picking her podcast up again at some point this year. So it'll be good to see some podcasts from Kiara again, but she's now local to me. So we get to hang out again like we used to. Mm. Excuse me, I'm really thirsty tonight. Um, Anyway, so that's kind of sadly it for finished objects. One sort of half finished object and a finished spinning object. Come me. Works in progress is I did go visit one of my two LYS places, Rare Pearls in downtown Duluth, Georgia, and I got some fiber. And I don't have the fiber itself handy. I'm still working on it. but I do have what I've already spun. This is a beautiful merino, and this is actually locally dyed by somebody that lives in Norcross. Her name is, actually I shouldn't say her name because I just said where she lives, and I don't have her permission, so I'm not gonna say her name. But she is local to Norcross. Um, she can be found on Etsy, but she has a lot. She sells her fibers and other items at Rare Pearls in Duluth. And this is a really, really, really pretty colorway called Flame. And this is 1/4 of the 4 ounces that I bought in a braid there. And the prep is really nice. I separated the braid into fourths, and this is 1/4 of that. So really, really beautiful prep. The braid just naturally separated into 4 places to make it easier for me to draft, and it was just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to spin. So I really love it. This is 1/4 of it so far. I'm probably going to two-ply it again like I did the other one. So I'm not sure how big it's going to come out yet. I will have to, get some wraps per inch or something after I get it applied. But anyway, there's that. Speaking of needy dogs, here comes my needy one right now. Hi, baby. Scoot over just a bit so she doesn't knock something over. So sorry if you're hearing some panting. It's my dog Harley. She is a really, really big golden retriever, and typical golden retriever fashion, she's an attention savvy. She really likes attention. So next work in progress, I am working on a pattern by the Fat Squirrel, Amy Mays. Amy Beth has just dropped the extra skinny yarn. She has, and I casted this on right about Yule. I casted this on because I thought that was appropriate. Um, you need to like tone the panting down, lady. Seriously. This is the Bridget sock, which I love this pattern. And I ended up frogging the vanilla socks that I was making in the Clover's colors. Let me pick this up and see. Yeah, the Clover's colors. I frogged it because that didn't come out too well. I was doing it on double points, and I really like magic looping. So, and pretty much anything that I had going on sock wise on double points got frogged because I just really like magic looping. Yeah. So I have these on size 1. These are the Susan Bates Velocity, and I picked these up at Rare Pearls because my box store just really did not have them. Joann's has been the only place I've seen Velocity needles, and they're like $12.99 there, and they only have like maybe 4 sizes. And so I decided to, well, I happened to be in Rare Pearls, and I wasn't really looking for needles, but I noticed they sold a variety of the Susan Bates Velocity, and I noticed that they had size 1 cable needles. I was like, sock needles! So I had to have them. I squeed, as a matter of fact. I was so excited to see a good variety of these needles, and for $8. So one more reason to support your local LYS. Oh, is it toy time now? Really? Yeah. Sorry about the squeak. Harley has decided to bring her flat fox over. Um, Anyway, those stuffing-less toys that have a squeaker in each end, but supposedly it's impossible for the dog to get the squeaker out of, they actually really are a good toy, because Harley she'll destroy a toy in 10 minutes, and she's had this toy for almost a year, and it still squeaks, ironically enough. So, guys, if you have a dog that's hard on toys, those are worth the $10. That's kind of expensive to spend on a toy, but you know what? It's lasted my dog a while, so. Anyway, here is the right sock. I have not casted on the left sock yet. Obviously, I'm still working on this one. Hi, baby. And she is really being needy. I just love these colors for this particular sock. I love this pattern that Fat Squirrel came up with. Amy came up with like a cable-like pattern. Although there's no cable needed in this one. I call it a cable pattern. I don't know if it's a true cable. But it looks like, let me stick my hand in here so you can see. It looks like a candle flame, which is really awesome. being that Bridget was, one of her aspects is the goddess of the hearth and home and the hearth fire. So she is often represented. People often honor her by lighting candles, and there's even a Catholic sisterhood called this Flame Keepers of Bridget, and they are a nunnery in Kildare, and they tend an eternal flame for Saint Bridget in her honor every 20 days. The candle is tended by the sisters, by each sister. One sister is responsible for maintaining the flame. I don't know if it's a candle, it's an actual flame. But one sister is responsible each night, every 24 hours, for maintaining the flame round the clock for 24 hours. And then another sister takes her place. And then on the 21st day, the sisters get a break because it is said that the saint herself tends the flame in order to give the sisters a break. And the flame is meant to stand for peace, harmony, home, everything that Saint Bridget and the goddess Bridget, both, because they're really the same person. She was just sainted by Catholicism. But everything that they stand for is what the flame represents, and it is tended by women. There are now, and there's a flame keeper guilds, sort of. I forget what they're called. I have to look it up. I was in one for a while and then I moved. But where we tend a flame, like let's say for instance, I'll tend a flame for 24 hours, and then the next person in line takes over on their date. So we're given dates that we tend the flame, and it's really nice. I used to have one that I put in a window. Hi, doggy. She's forcing me for pets. Um, so it's really, really nice. And there's actually a group of men that tend the flame for Bridget also, and they are called the Warriors for Bridget. And yeah, so there are a group of gentlemen that also see fit to tend the flame. And I think that's fabulous. And when I move again, I hope to get into another uh, Bridget's Flame Guild. I forget what it's called. Anyway, off topic. But that's what these socks really remind me of, and it makes me want to get back into that. And so I love these socks. I can see myself doing several pairs of these. So, and I love this color. This is the Croy Socks FX by Patents, and each skein is 50 grams of a wool nylon blend, 75% washable wool, 25% nylon. And this is the Clover Colors colorway. And I have this one and one other thing that I picked up, also handmade, are these wonderful stitch markers. I think I took a picture of them on my Facebook, but here's one of those stitch markers that I picked up at Rare Pearls. I love the design. Let me turn it so you can see it. But I love its sort of hexagonal design there. It is really quite cool, and I really like working with it. This is what I have left of the first ball. So plenty to do this sock and probably to start another sock. And I have my socks kept in a bag, also purchased from Rare Pearls. I had a good day that day. Knitting saves lives. I knit so nobody has to die. Ain't that the truth? Totally. So anyway, those are my current works in progress. So I still have a cardigan that I'm working on, and that is actually, I think, going to see some love this week. Also going to see some love this week is my crosswords at the coffee shop, because I want to work on it. I do. I might actually take it with me to a New Year's Eve party and work on it there. Because I have... Oh, as I'm thinking about other works in progress, hold on. I did start out of the leftover yarn. I don't know if you all remember, but I got... Sorry, I disappeared on you. I made 2 cows out of some Lions... I want to say it's Lions brand, like Tweety yarn. And I am in the process of using the rest of that yarn. It's caught up on something. Using the rest of that yarn, and I am working on... Wow, that had a serious yarn barf in the bag there. Oops. But this is The Starving Artist by Laura Linneman. And I've got that much of it done. And it's going to be a really nice slouchy beanie hat. Put it on here. And it looks like a fez right now because it's still in progress. But I'm at about 6 inches now. I'm going to do the 9-inch one to make it nice and slouchy. As you can see, it's starting to slouch in the back some. Gonna look a lot less fez-like when it's done. But getting close here, I really like it. I like the pattern. Like it a lot. And so, great way to use up this leftover yarn too. It's really soft and it's a neutral color, so it will go with my different scarves and cowls that I have made. And I don't have that one in a project bag right now, but so that's it. That's seeing some love. I generally kind of take this when I need mindless knitting. Not that the pattern is, anything wrong with the pattern or anything like that. I'm not saying mindless is a bad thing, but it's just when I don't need to terribly concentrate so much, um, or need a break from something that I have to keep looking at the pattern. I can do this without looking at the pattern because the pattern repeats so easily. And it's a twisted rib 4x1 pattern. Love it. So anyway, moving on. I got some serious knitter's love from my sister-in-law who does not knit. She did awesome. Awesome. Rachel, I love you. She sent me for Christmas this absolutely gorgeous, and I mean huge, project bag. Da, 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 da. Hugeness. It is lovely quilted pink flowers, which is funny because I'm not normally into pink flowers, but quilted items, sure. It's got a pocket in the front to like put a pattern in or something, right? Or, my notions bag. Now, inside, it came chock full of stuff. It came with not one, but 2 skeins of this yarn. This one does not have the ball band, but I think this one does. This was some stash yarn that some member of the family had. This is Lion Brand Landscapes, and I love it. I love that it's stash yarn too. I love it because I don't have a lot of stash yarn. So I have no idea how old this yarn is, but I think it would qualify for deep stash dive because it came from, I don't know, it's potentially really old yarn, so I love it, and I totally want to go into deep stash dive. So this is the color, I haven't even looked yet. Does it have a color? Rose Garden. Awesome! I totally see myself taking this and making a hat for my daughter. It's in beautiful touches of blue and dark red and yellow, but it's primarily pink. Love it for her. So I got 2 balls of that. Pretty complete balls too. I got 3 balls of this, which is called Rose, and it's Lion Brand Boucle? Lion Boucle? I don't know. Boucle, I guess. So yeah, 3 balls of this. Ba-da-da-da. Yep. Totally, again, see myself making something for my daughter in this yarn. And get the knitting needle out of here. So really, really excited about that. I need to actually, I have not put those in my ball winder yet. As I disappear on you again, I am so sorry. But I do need to get those on the ball winder and get those skeined up because I'm definitely going to make something for my daughter. She also sent me 2 sets of knitting needles, which are sizes that I have, but you can never have too many of these kind of standard knitting needles. And something else that she sent me, which I didn't own any of, is these stitch stoppers, that you put on the end of your needles when you want to put your knitting up for a little while. Okay, and I'm forever, I don't know how many stitches that I've lost, so I love it. These are size 7 Susan Bates aluminum straight needles, which I love. I do love the Susan Bates needles. This is the other stitch stopper for the size 10s. So these are size 10s knitting needles. And these, again, I believe, Rachel doesn't knit. I believe these were some knitting needles that she had that somebody else had given her. And she doesn't knit. So I think these were some passed down in the family some way. So I'm really extra tickled that I got these. Really, really super tickled. This is actually some needles that sorry, I had to look and see what the dog was chewing. These are actually needles that I had. I stuck them in here for lack of another place to put them, but these are size 8. No, these are size 10. Double points, because I needed them for a hat project. Hi, Harley. Yes, I looked at you, so oh my goodness, you must think I want to pet you now. Anyway, also in the bag, we're actually coming to the end of it. It's beautiful knitted felted notions bag with this neat little button on there that looks like a quarter. It's plastic, but it looks shiny and like a quarter and really cool. Hello, Harley. I see you. And I love it. It's felted. I've never owned anything felted before, so it's felted knitting, which is really cool. I really am fascinated by the way the stitches just disappear and it becomes this really dense, lovely, soft thing. Love it. Inside this also was chock full of a bunch of stuff. She sent me a Susan Bates knit check. I have the smaller aluminum one. This is the little bit larger plastic one, which I love because you can honestly never have too many of these things. Sometimes I misplace one. Whoops. So there's that. And she sent me a stitch holder, which I haven't needed yet, so I didn't buy one. Now I have one, so that's awesome. Because I may actually find myself in need of one soon. A cable needle. A set of yarn bobbins, which is really awesome. There's like 5 of them here if I can get these two separated. They hook together. And these are really awesome because I actually want to start getting into more color work. So I have 5 yarn bobbins. Awesome. And then I have 2, the other one is in the bag. 2 tapestry needles. Again, you can never have too many of these. And the ones that I have had the little bent tip on them, and these are the straight tip, which is great because the bent tip are awesome for a lot of things, but sometimes you just need a straight tipped one. So I have a straight tipped one. So there it was, my super wicked awesome knitting related gifts that I got this year. I really hit the knitter's jackpot. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. I am, again, like, so wicked tickled. You would not believe. This was a blessing to have been gifted all this wonderful stuff. And so, I love my families. My in-laws are the bestest people ever. So moving on. So this was Knitter's Joy. This was definitely the woolly part of the segment this time is getting a lot of attention. Where a couple weeks ago, I think the geek part got more attention. So yeah, here we go. Harley, what are you doing? Nothing but trouble for you over there. Come here. Sorry, she's getting into something. And bless her heart, I need to give her some medication soon. We spent, hi baby, Christmas Eve at the doggy hospital. She had a golf ball sized swelling on her lip. We still don't know what caused it, but she was given some medication to take the swelling out and then some other medication, which is like an antibiotic, because they think it may have been caused by a wound. And one of my cats did swat her a few days before that, my elderly cat. So yeah, it might have been, her claw might have hit her face. I mean, they may have, I don't know. My 17-year-old cat doesn't tolerate much, so it's possible that Harley got swatted by one of the cats and it got infected. So yeah, I felt really bad and freaked out, and so she ended up at the doggy hospital. Bless her heart. But she's much better now. The swelling is like down to only this big now. It's just like the little place on her lip about this big instead of like golf ball size, which was freaky. So glad that's all over. You know, $150 later, but to find out my dog wasn't gonna die or pass some disease on to somebody in the family, it was worth it. Gotta take care of you little 4-paw children. Because they really don't take care of themselves that well. They have to rely on us. Right, baby? So, favorite things. I came across a couple magazines today. Really good. Today was magazine buy. First one I want to talk about. I was getting the e-version of this last year, and I think my e-version stopped after 3 issues, which is sad because I was supposed to get 4 issues. I have to go back and look at my emails, but I may have only gotten 3 issues. I don't know. There might have been an issue I accidentally deleted, forgetting that's what it was. Because this is a magazine, it's called Love of Knitting. It only comes out seasonally, so it comes out 4 times a year, and that's it. That's all you get. But it's a good sized magazine. There's a lot of stuff in here for only $6.99 US, $8.99 Canadian. And this particular issue, this is the latest issue. It will be on sale through the 25th of February, 2013. There is an article on here. I haven't read this one yet. I haven't really opened it. There's an article on here about Jordana Page. What I like about the Love of Knitting is there's a lot of projects in here for beginner knitters. And so there's a lot of easy projects in here. Um, so I really, really like this magazine for that. If you're a new knitter and want to check out a knitting magazine, this one's a good one to just start with. Interweave is amazing. It's a little bit more expensive. That one tends to run $15 and it is worth every penny. But if you have a limited budget and you're new to knitting, this is a pretty reasonable one to start with. I like it. So, what's hot? Mosaic knitting, which I'm guessing is this vest here. I don't know. This is a fabulous vest for a guy. I don't know that I can see my man wearing it, but it is a really cool vest. I'm not sure that I would have done it in the black and white colors, although yeah, maybe. I might have actually picked like a khaki and cream to soften it a little bit, but that's me. My guy likes more subtle stuff. I say that, but one of his favorite Christmas presents was a Call of Duty t-shirt that I got him, so yeah, so much for subtle, right? But there's a really nice sock pattern in here. Um, there's a really pretty woman's pullover. I really like that. I don't know. It's not very figure flattering on this model by the way she's standing, but I think it's a really pretty sweater, and they have her standing this particular way to show off the beautiful cable on the front of the sweater. I think if she was standing a little bit more naturally and not leaning, she would look really cute. Because she's an attractive model and she's not overweight, but the sweater tends to make her look like she might be a little bit just because of the way she's standing. So, yeah, I love this cowl. I love this cowl so much. It's on the front cover. I want to knit that really bad. I want to knit that. And I want to knit the Simple Treasure mitts too. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really, here's the mosaic stitches. I have not done any mosaic knitting. This is actually the first I've ever heard about it. Wow, Ryan's phone's going off hook. Sorry about that. It's the first time I've heard of mosaic knitting. I believe I've seen it before and just didn't know what it was. So I'm definitely going to try some mosaic knitting this year. I like these blocks and I think these would be cool in an Afghan. So I might do up some mosaic knitting blocks for an Afghan. Project ideas. Here's a pillow. It's called the Mossy Mosaic Pillow. Oh, now I do see my man wearing that. That is the Smoky Graphite crew neck sweater. I do see him wearing that. I have to find him something other than superwash wool, though. He's allergic to the superwash. But anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Oh, my absolute favorite pattern made this magazine totally worth it. I love this. It's on page 78. It is called the Wee Bonnie Lass. Look at that. You get a pattern. The pattern that is in the book is for the sweater, the hat, and the doll sweater and hat. So when they give you your yarn measurements, they do tell you that the yarn measurements, when they tell you how many skeins to buy, it's to do all 4 projects, both the hats and both the sweaters. It's awesome. I love the Kelly green color. It looks like a really simple pattern. It's a traditional Scotch style tam. and I love it. I love it. My daughter would look so beautiful in that. I would love to do hers in like a really, really blue, like a really, really bright blue, kind of a dark blue. She has blue eyes, and so yeah, I think she would really, really look good in that sweater. She's got her bone, so if you hear some crunching in the background, again, I apologize. She's amusing herself with her rawhide bone now. This is another sweater that I like called Enchanted Evening. I think that's very figure flattering, especially if you're a little rounder girl like me. Um, it does, give you some buttoning here and it's open here, but the way it hangs, if you've got a large belly like I do and you don't like to show that, you have a sweater that's not totally closed around you that shows a little bit, but the way it hangs is also hiding some of the negative things in your figure, I think. That's just my opinion. And this girl is very fit and lovely, but I would like to make this sweater. Um, it does go up to a 52-inch bust. So, yeah, I believe I could totally make one of those for me. And I love it. I think it's just gorgeous little sweater jacket. And it looks like it's got a hood attached. Yes, it does have a hood attached. Here is another picture of the model. And here's a variation of the style right there. I like that too. Whoa, dog. Don't choke on it. Choking on a bone. So yeah, really like that. And then a really super simple cowl called the Shimmer and Sparkle, like that also. So this magazine is full of some really good projects. This actually probably has more projects in it than any of the other ones that I've had. So I really like this. Another magazine that I came across today was this one, Quick Knits from Classic Elite Yarns. And this is actually from the publishers of a sewing magazine called Threads. Excuse me. It has 37 fabulous patterns, wraps, socks, hats, and more. The mittens featured on the front are, apologize for my dog. The mittens featured on the front are in there. What I love about this magazine, and I browsed this today over lunch with my daughter. This magazine retails for $6.99, and I found it at Joann's. It retails in Canada for $8.99, and it will be on display until March 4th. This magazine is organized like a normal pattern book. It's really awesome. You have your introduction to the magazine. You have stitch explanations. Let me try to get that in there better. Hello. Stitch explanations about yarn weights, which is very helpful. That appears in a lot of magazines, and it's just very helpful when they put that in there. When you go to buy yarn, it definitely has helped me out. Go to buy yarn. You have a table of contents in here. Sorry, the lighting and those super glossy pages. And the first section is hats, mittens, and gloves. And so all the patterns featuring hats, mittens, and gloves are in the front of the book, and they are colored in blue. The pages are actually edged in colors, and it's not going to show up on the camera. But like, here's the first tam, and I really like this because this is a great all-around, everybody fits everybody tam. It is sized from, it's called the Harriet Tam, and it's sized from a child small to an adult, small child, large child, small adult, large adult. So you could go through really like toddler, through teenager, through adult, and large adult, like a man. Like, I think, here's the tam, and like, I guess a gradient color. Get this in the camera better. I have such a hard time with that. If done in masculine colors, I could totally see that on a guy. I think. I don't know, I could be wrong. Here's on that lovely little girl, the same hat, just done in different colors. I think it's wonderful. Love that. Like, I was hooked in there. My mother-in-law, Jane, crochets. Here's a crochet pattern, and it's simply called a crochet hat. I think that's lacy and lovely. And I might have to actually, when I finish with this magazine, send this to her so she can have this pattern. There's a lace beret. Looks like that, and I like that too. I can see myself maybe making that. And I like this hat. I don't know that I'll make this Quincy hat. Or, yeah, Quincy hat. But I might. I like that. And I don't know that it would look good on me, but I can think of somebody that it would look good on. I actually totally think I am totally picturing somebody in my husband's family that could wear that. This one, the Fresco Beaumont. I love this hat. This hat is in color work. Beautiful. They have it in like red and white here. And on this page, it's in like gray and silver. Love it. It's absolutely beautiful. The top of the hat, the way the color work is done, it looks like hearts. Here is the thistle hat. I don't want to show any charts because of color rights, but copyrights, I mean. But there's the thistle hat. Fluffy mittens. Color work mittens that they have there. Here is the, let me make sure I'm not showing the, I don't want to violate any copyrights, but here's the mittens on the front page, the front cover, the Grove mittens. I mean, that is just the first part of the book. Here's some charmed fingerless mitts. I think that might be the last one in this. No, anchor mittens, and I love this. Who has not done a style like that for their kids so their kids don't lose their mittens? Because let's face it, little kittens do lose their mittens. I love this for adults though. A scarf with your mittens attached. That is wicked. I love that. That's awesome. And it's called Anchor Mittens. Oh, here we go. I thought I was done with just this part. These are beautiful. The clickety clack mittens. They're so fuzzy and gorgeous. A really, really soft, lofty yarn was used to make those. The Ann mitts are really lacy mitts. Then here's your section on socks. And I'm not going to go through all these, but there is a pair of leg warmers in here that I just swooned over because they were so cute. The Avery socks in here. The Harmony socks I love. Twisted Legs, the leg warmers. But Bo has socks, but these, the Fresco leg warmers. I love them. Love them. I love the chick that's wearing them. I think she's awesome. Cool. Like, are you kidding? Right? How can you not love those? So yeah, I might be squirting those next year. I wish I was that cute. Then you got scarves, cows, and wraps in like a periwinkle blue. And there's like a whole table of contents of what's in there. Get the light off of it better. There we go there. So yeah, there's even, this is scarves, cowls, wraps, shrugs, and capelets. And typical capelets and scarves and wraps and shrugs. Yeah. The wavy scarf. Hold on. There we go. The wavy scarf is really cool. But what really captured my eye was this really, it threw me for a loop. There's a skirt in here. And it really threw me for a loop. And I tell you, if I had the figure for it, I would totally make it. Now I'm not going to find it. You watch. I'm not going to find it. There it is. Wrap skirt. Look at this. Which, if I was that skinny, I would totally make that. That is so cute. I might make one anyway. Really easy pattern, I think, to adjust for somebody with a larger waistline. But isn't that gorgeous? I love that. I love that. She's got that on with a pair of jeans. Totally, totally wicked cute over a pair of jeans. Yeah. Wow. Love the idea. Love the idea. I really do. And then the back is blankets. I love that bag that's in the back. It's called the Sunshine Bag. The Irresistible Blanket is perfect for children. Cozy Blanket, which looks like a black pattern for adults. The Forbidden Wrap Blanket. Kidding me, right? There's even a toy on page 92. So yeah, I mean, this has, it's just a preview. So much stuff in it. So well worth the money. Again, this was only $7. So there's that. So I have like so many patterns that could keep me going. But wait, there's more. There's more. I gotta take a sip. Hearing the dog crunch is like drying my mouth out for some reason. Sorry about the phone again. My husband has a play date with a friend that lives in Juliet, Indiana. They used to live here, and we were very close friends with them. And then they moved back home to Indiana, and so now the guys really only get time to socialize on Call of Duty. So that's why Todd's texting. Anyhow, um, I also picked up. Oops, dropped something. Calendars are now half price, which I wasn't expecting calendars to go on sale for half price until January, but they're half price already at Joann's, and they are awesome. I think the last one at my Joann's. This is the 2013 knitting calendar. This is the page a day. This happens to be one of the first patterns on there, the fruitful mitts. Look at all these pages. All these pages. These are all patterns, y'all. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? Right? Holy cow. At $14.99, something that has over 100 patterns is not a separate pattern a day. That would be, I don't know, a lot. But it still has over 100 patterns. It retailed for $14.99. I actually picked it up for half price. So what are these, like less than a penny a pattern now? The fruitful mittens, here we go. The first week. There's page 2 or part 2 of 2. This is part 1 of 2. The directions are very clear. Pictures are great. This pattern, if you can pick up this calendar, especially now when calendars, even if you wait until January, when calendars go even cheaper, if this is still available, because even at regular price, this is a steal for the amount of patterns and stuff that's in there. Do pick this up. There's all kinds of stores that could carry this. I know for sure Joann's carries it because that's where I got it. So if you're near Joann's, check it out, see if they have any left. They are almost out of calendars though, because crafters have to plan ahead. So they run out of calendars quick. But there's calendar stores, like there's one called Day by Day, which actually was owned by Borders Walden Books. That may not be in business anymore. But there's other calendar businesses that open up seasonally in malls and stuff like that. And right after New Year's, they only have so much time left in their spots, and they have to sell out as much product as they can. So you will find, 75 to 90% off through, excuse me, I think they have to be out by March. So 75 to 90% off after New Year's if you watch the sales. You can probably also like hunt for it online. Google the 2013 calendar, and it's by Pattern a Day, I think is the company. I don't know. But not only does it have like so many patterns in it, but then it has like 12 bonus projects, which I haven't even seen one of those yet. I think it's awesome. This was so worth it. This was really, really worth it. So yeah, it gives you a skill level, finished dimensions, what kind of yarn they used and how much, needles recommended, blah, blah, blah. And it even tells you, when to check your gauge. So that is a really, really good buy. Excellent gift if you know somebody that's a knitter. What a great gift. So there's that. And that is, man, this show is running long. I think I started about 9-ish. No, I started like 8:30. We've already run an hour. But quickly getting into the geek portion. The geek portion is a little bit light this week, but I want to talk about one of my favorite games that I got interested to after I met my husband. This was sort of my pre-geek days because I was so not a geek before I met my husband. I moved in with my roommate Chris, who's like my sister from another mother, and met my husband in the same year, back in 2004. And they both, well, she didn't play Magic, but Ryan did. And by Magic, I'm referring to Magic the Gathering, or MTG, as it's called. It's a Wizards of the Coast trading card game. There is also an online play version of it. I do play online right now, through the Xbox. The Planes of the Dual Walker, Planes, no, Duels of the Planeswalker. Sorry, my bad. There is a 2013 version out. I don't play that one yet, but I have heard good things about it. But Magic the Gathering is a trading card game. It can set you back a pretty penny if you want to get seriously into it. So it's something that younger people really should save for. Um, but it's also, go to, if you're younger and you want to get started in the game, start with a starter set of the Magic the Gathering cards. Work with a more experienced player, and there are players that show up at Friday Night Magic and stuff. They love helping out the newbie players, especially if you're a little younger. They love to help you out. They will trade you cards that you need. They will help you build a deck. They'll show you the ins and outs of the game. I actually learned this was so cool. My husband and the guy who's now that we live, we're his roommates, Brian, they both tried to teach me how to play. I was just unteachable. I don't know why. I could not learn the game. I just couldn't. They couldn't do anything with me. I don't know what mental block I had with it or what. Um, but I just couldn't learn the game. We gave up. I got frustrated. They got frustrated. We ended up giving up until a couple years later. Oh, this is time I was living in Duluth. We were living in Duluth. Mm, Hatton. This was pre-Allura, so we hadn't been married very long. Living in Duluth, the Nationals tournament had come to Georgia, and they were at the Cobb Galleria Center in Marietta, and Ryan was in the tournament, and so was Brian and a bunch of our other friends because they all played. Dylan was there, Chris Boozer, bunch of people. Excuse me. So they were all playing, and they came home from day one like, oh, Twitter. I was like, what's up? I had fallen asleep on the couch. As a matter of fact, they came home, woke me up on the couch, and said, "Oh, you're coming to nationals tomorrow." I'm like, "Why do I want to hang out there? I don't know how to play the game." Well, they had a whole station for newbies, and so I got talked into going. I got in, was overwhelmed by how cool the place was. It was thousands and thousands of people of all ages, because the game is appropriate to from 8 years old and up to adult. And there are some serious players. There's players that play pro. There's all kinds of tournaments. There's nationals. There's worlds. There's pro tour. There's juniors, which I think is fabulous. The junior tournaments are like the nationals tournaments or even worlds, but they're for the younger players up to a certain age. And like the top prizes for those tournaments are scholarships by from Wizards of the Coast, which are great. College scholarships for kids. I'm all about that. So I really appreciate how much Wizards of the Coast does for their younger players. Looks like it's Call of Duty time. Awesome. But no problem. I'm wrapping up in a minute. And they've heard the dog crunching through most of it and begging for attention and stuff, so we're good. But yeah, so I picked up a white weenie deck, sat down at the table. My husband made sure I was okay, and because I felt so awkward. Actually, when I first got there, I felt like I totally didn't belong. But and then he went over to check in because he was playing with the tournament, so he had to go check in with the tournament judges. And because he made it to day two along with a bunch of our friends, made it to day two of the tournament. And his round ended a little bit before my tutorial did. I sat down. There was a gentleman sitting there with a deck of cards, and then two other people joined us. And he introduced himself as Rick and said, "I'm going to teach you how to play Magic the Gathering, and I work for, I don't work for Wizards of the Coast, but I do know Magic the Gathering pretty well." He said, "And I can teach you, and I guarantee you that we only have 20 minutes." He said, "But I guarantee you in 20 minutes." You will then leave with enough knowledge to go join your local game shop that's sanctioned by Wizards of the Coast and play in a Friday Night Magic tournament. Which, by the way, those are free tournaments every Friday night at sanctioned game stores. So if you have a game store in your area that sells Magic the Gathering, check and see if they're WotC sanctioned. And that is a free, fun tournament to do on Friday nights. It's really, really a lot of fun. But anyways, sure, okay, I'm done with this. So I played 2 rounds with our instructor, and the two people the other side of the table played together. And I actually learned the game. For some reason, this guy taught me in a way that clicked. Because he'd been playing since 1992 when the game first came out. I find out the reason for this and why he was such a good teacher afterwards. My husband's round ended a little bit early. He was standing on the rail watching us and just quietly watching us. And I learned the game. I'm so excited because I've got this white beanie deck that totally would get owned in a tournament, but still, I had it. I did well. I learned the game. I could now play. I could be as geeky as my friends. It was awesome. I felt like I was included now in this like club. It was great. So I was all ecstatic. He gave me some Birds of Paradise cards that were early on Birds of Paradise, the original art, I think, and asked me if I didn't mind going to ask the guy that taught me to sign the cards. So I go, and then he joins me. They chit chat for a couple minutes, and I'm like, psh, whatever they're talking about is over my head because I just learned the game. So I'm like, don't know. Turns out, as I asked my husband why he was so smugly grinning like a Cheshire cat later, what the big deal was, the guy who taught me to play Magic the Gathering, Richard Garfield, the creator of the game, not kidding. I actually was taught by the creator of Magic the Gathering. How cool was that? Yeah. I actually played Friday Night Magic then for a long time, stopping only in the third trimester of my pregnancy because honestly I just didn't have the stamina to stay up and play. I would fall asleep at the table in the War Room, which was our game store at the time. So, for those of you that are interested in trying out a game that's been around for a while, it was actually the first major trading card game. Pokemon came shortly thereafter, but the first major trading game was Magic the Gathering. It still boasts over 2 million players. Um, you can check out, I have linked in my show notes, the Wizards of the Coast website where you can find out more about the game and sanctioned stores where you can go play Friday Night Magic. Again, it's for 8 years and up. So definitely young people, if you want to get involved in a really, really fun trading card game that's been around for a long time, wide variety of players that can offer you scholarships and stuff for school, definitely check out this and go to your Friday Night Magic and have a really good time. Heck, it's Friday night. You don't have school the next day. Hence the reason why it's Friday Night Magic. But again, it's a great social gathering. We always had a great time socially. Just a lot of fun. Some of my most fond gaming memories are around F&M. So definitely check that out. If you're interested also in purchasing cards, or checking out Friday Night Magic, see your local areas. If you live in like the Norcross, Gwinnett, Duluth area of Georgia, my area basically, some great places to come check it out would be the Tower. Um, let's see, there's the Tower. There's also the Gaming Pit. And for magic cards and supplies, check out Tapped Out Magic. They are currently, I believe they have the website down right now, but that is owned by my friends Dylan and Tammy. Tapped Out Magic is great for supplies, and I have linked in the show notes their Facebook page. Until their website comes back up, any information that you need is on their Facebook page. If you're looking for a particular card, you can private message Dylan Beckham through his Tapped Out Magic Facebook page. And again, other cards can be found traded for at your purchased or traded for at your local game stores like the Tower or the Gaming Pit. Um, anyway, that's the show this week. I look forward to casting with you again next week. Here, let's come down here a little bit and say hi, Harley. There's my girl. There's my girl. There's my girl. All right, Harley and I say bye this week, and we'll see you next week, my geeky friends. Take care.